Okay, it looks like I'm live. I think all my levels are good. Okay, it looks like I'm live. I think all my levels are good. Yep, it sounds good. Alright, let's pause that. Let's mute that. I don't need to watch that. Hello, hi. Ooh, it's another late 2 a.m. stream with PB, something I don't do very often because I don't stay awake very late anymore. But I took an accidental nap earlier today, and now I'm just sort of waiting for my hair to dry so I could go to bed. Because I fell asleep waiting for somebody to get out of the shower. And, you know, things happen. So what we're going to be doing today is, or tonight I guess, whatever, is we're going to continue on with Cupid. Last time we left off, I don't remember. Is it this one? Are we in chapter 4? Is that where we last left off? August 26th? Oof. Oof. Oh, I wonder if that PV knew how shit was gonna go down. Alright, so, oh no. Oh, that's right, I didn't want to do this. Alright, well, you know, shit's gonna happen. Here we go. Oh god, I don't want to do this. Alright, so, you know, maybe part of this is gonna be speed read, we don't know. Son of a fuck. Oh, I forgot how quiet I put the music for this. Let me move up this. Also, I'm having to use the default music player on my computer rather than the one I usually use. All right, here we go. Guillaume cleared his throat. Suddenly, he seemed to have trouble breathing. Oh my god, what was his voice? It was like... You have the power to change. How about you? If I told you that I'm not what I say I am, would you? Oh, what was her voice? What do you mean? Never mind. It's a silly question. What? Is something bothering you? Oh, French, that's correct. Ciao? Guillaume turned his head away and closed his eyes. Nothing, darling. We should sleep now. Catherine patted away at the frown on his brow. I feel like that's what it would say. She traced his cheeks with her fingers. Guillaume, I do love you. Now I am more than certain. It was higher. It gives my heart happiness to know for sure. What reminded me was your generosity. You give every bit of yourself to the people you love. Do you know that? Because I have to, darling. Well, you have always inspired me, Chow. That's not how you say that. I know that's not how you say it. I've always looked up to you. You treat everyone, no matter their status, with kindness. Never have I met a man more generous and thoughtful about others. A man with so much love to give. And that is why I love you. You are a good man. But if that's not what I really am... Catherine shook her head. You can't fake sacrifice, monsieur. I have seen you care for the people in this town. I've seen how you've loved me. I don't care much for intention, you see. It's what we actually do that defines us. Guillaume paused, his voice choked up in his throat. Not always. Not always. Guillaume found Catherine's hand. No. Guillaume found Catherine's hand. I thought that said head. I was really confused. On his face and squeezed it. She stretched her neck and kissed his cheek. Catherine. You're always scared I will leave you. But the truth is, I know it is you who will leave me. And it hurts. What? You are different. I've loved you for so long. It scares me how deeply I do. Deep I have rooted myself. Sometimes I deem it better to end this wretched existence. To save you from... What are you talking about, Guillaume? You're not making any sense. Hey, Torpy. It's going well. It's going well. Yeah, it's going well. Nothing, I was woken up this morning to having to work with the bureaucracy. Spent about an hour on the phone with the bureaucracy. Then I had some Shadowrun, which was fun. Then I think the rest of my day was pretty chill. I don't think I had too much to do today. It was nice. How about you? How are you doing today, Torpy? Excited to see some more of your favorite person? Some GM action? And my uncomfortableness as I continue on with the scene? What are you talking about, Guillaume? You're not making any sense. Is it your turn to scare me? I'm sorry. They didn't speak for a while. The air became a little uncomfortable. She could feel Guillaume's stressful breathing on her forehead. Catherine wondered what Guillaume was talking about, but it didn't seem like he wanted to discuss it further. When Guillaume started to calm down, Catherine thought it was best to sleep and ask him about it on the next day, as a reminder as to what the fuck has been happening in this plot, because it's been a little bit. Between Catherine and Guillaume, Catherine is basically like a piano prodigy, and Guillaume found her at a young age, and he sponsored her to continue on playing, which just means, he paid for her lessons and blah 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 blah. Then there was a snafu with her and Guillaume and Catherine's sister Emily, who subsequently died because Catherine killed her in what may or may not have been an accident, where we discover that there is a pattern of psychosis or some sort of mental disorder that they just define as them going crazy, where they get really, really they can't control their emotions very well. And there's, a portion where they think that where Catherine thinks, that's what's happening with her. Then fast forward a little bit, and we see Catherine performing for the first time in this, in Paris, in this huge venue, and, crowd loves her, blah, 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 blah. And it's also the first time she sees Guillaume in a little bit, and I think a year, maybe 3, I can't remember. And it turns out that Guillaume was very forward and, told her, he was attracted to her, and Catherine shot him down prior to, which is why he left, came back, Paris, they're there. Catherine gives him the time of day, and then we fast forward to them being engaged. I think they're engaged. And we came back to Catherine throwing wine bottles at Guillaume, accusing him of cheating on her, and Guillaume fervently saying that he did not. Catherine being very angry, getting very drunk, going to Rosa, which is coincidentally the main character of this story, which I haven't talked about, because man, that's a whole other can of worms. They get drunk together. They start kissing. Weird things happen with Rosa. Rosa freaks out. Catherine is like, oh man. Finishing up chat. Catherine going crazy. Yeah, they kiss. Rosa freaks out. Then Catherine's like, oh my god, what did I do? Accusing Guillaume of cheating, and now here I am. Then she runs away. She ends up in Guillaume's room, which is in the same like day. This is the same day, same night that all of that has happened. But we did have a flash forward where we find out that Catherine is dead, and Rosa is very suspicious, including Mother. Rosa and Mother are very suspicious of Guillaume, and have done some magical hocus pocus to try and figure it out. And I think that's it. I think that's all we know about Catherine and Guillaume at this point. Yeah, so we have flash forward. We've now flashed back once more, and here we are. Or maybe this is the correct timeline. I don't know. It's all a little bit wibbly wobbly. The timeline gets a little bit confusing if you're not keeping track. And yeah, I saw that you guys were over on Chills's stream earlier. And by that, I just noticed that all three of you were in Rocket League, and I noticed he was streaming, so I decided to check it out. It looked cool. Looked fun. Yeah, and I saw you guys were playing some golf with friends. And, oh no, you did not. Someone be stealing slices of my ham. Gotta clamp it down. Wasn't me, but yum ham. Agreed. Ham is delicious. All right, here we go. Continuing on. I've procrastinated enough. Oh God, I don't want to do this. All right, when Guillaume started to calm down, he freaked out. God, I don't even know sometimes. Catherine thought it was best to sleep and ask him about it the next day. Oh. She came into Guillaume's room, like so freaked out. They apparently sleep in separate bedrooms, and Guillaume's like, "What are you doing here?" And she's like, "I'm sorry." And he's like, "What do you mean? You never apologized to me. Can I write this down? Can I document this as a monumentous day?" And then like she's freaking out, and she has having this whole internal debate about like, how am I going to tell you this? And then she tries to break off the engagement. Guillaume won't let her. And Guillaume is very smothering in that moment, and Catherine is allowing the smothering because she's feeling very guilty, and is very drunk. And then Guillaume's like, "You could tell me whatever in the morning." And now they have fallen in bed together. Apparently, they also haven't ever had. They have never had intercourse before, and that was a topic of discussion over with Rosa. It's a whole thing. All right, so here we are. Now we're trying to figure out what the fuck. Okay, moving on. But Guillaume spoke again. His voice was low and serious. "Catherine, do you love me?" "With all my heart, Guillaume. I've loved you for what it seems like my whole life." The candle flickered. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do it. All right, here we go. Okay, let's take a drink of water. I don't want to do it. Guillaume slipped his hands. Oh my God. Guillaume slipped his hands on Catherine's hair and gently pushed her face towards his. But she closed her eyes and let the sensation of his lips take her. His mouth left, oh my God, as if washing away her sins. Well, Catherine tasted the salt in his kiss, but like the taste of tears. She wanted to take away his sorrows. Yeah, it doesn't get it. It doesn't get any. There's no like nudity. It's not PG, it's PG-13. There is a lot of descriptive text that it's just descriptive enough for if you know what's happening, you know what's happening. But if you don't understand it, you're not gonna understand what the fuck. Also, it's translated from French into English, so there's a lot of awkward sentences. All right, Guillaume held her tightly, longingly. She drowned herself in his embrace. His palm caressed her neck, and blah, 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 blah. God, there's just gonna curve her waist, his fingers pressed on her skin. Catherine, oh my God, she wanted, okay, yep, it's totally happening. Yep, Guillaume broke away. Kath, let's stop. You're tired. Catherine looked in his eyes and saw, blah, 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 despite protest. After the events of the night, there was, and the bad thing is that there's plot in here, so I can't just skip through it all. Why you skip the words? You can read talk. Oh my god. After the events of that night, there was a despair in Catherine that longed to be quenched. It was a selfish atonement, perhaps, a hunger for self-worth. She ran her tongue over his lips. I want this, Cat. Cat was thirsty, dipping her hand and plunging her. She opened her, and she did. And then she bit her lip coyly. It made her want to do more. He and cord in his neck. And there was a little trophy. Catherine pulled his free, and she traced his finger and blah blah and gave it blah. And then there was blah blah blah. To know the go to resist and began to answer. Guillaume sat on the finally gave it felt like victory to her. Guillaume grabbed her neck and pulled her face to him. Catherine pulled his hair and the surprise was starting hitting him and their body, and they were the dominant, blah 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 blah. He sucked on blah 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 blah. In the tender. Alright. Every length of skin for it was a reminder of an awareness that her flesh was a living thing. That's a very awkward way to say that. There was a buildup of tendons, blah blah blah, and his blah blah blah, and it drove her mad. He was teasing her, setting her reaction with every touch. Catherine threw herself blah blah blah, and his tongue blah blah blah, and blah blah blah, and hot blaze dripping, and her heart again. God, it's so long. I hate it, but there is plot in here, so I can't just skip through it all. Like it's relevant to the story. That's the awful thing. Surgeon roots her hair. She would usually stop here. An irksome apathy would take hold of her and she would stop. Now, this wasn't like the other times. Catherine felt clenching her body, wound her up tighter and tighter, putting her in danger. This was different. This was, do you love me, Catherine? Guillaume, her voice said, nope, I'm not doing that. Kim, okay, yep, yeah, yep, things are happening, yep, yep, yeah, things are happening, yep, totally, oh man, you could totally stop and read all of that, I'm sure it's very interesting, totally, yep, things are happening, wow, they're having a great time together, she wanted to scream, the scream would come from very deep, do you love me? Totally that. Yep, she does love him. Totally. In urgent different. Things are happening. He seemed to steal her breath faster now. Okay, then she twitched, something, blah, blah, blah. Yep, she opened her eyes. She caught something alarming when she stared up at him. He didn't look like Guillaume in the shadows, unlike by candlelight. You can pause. You can pause and read all that. It's very explicit. It's not very explicit. It's just very uncomfortable. His features were the same, his eyes were in the same place, his nose and lips were in the same shape, but this man was a stranger. He did not care for her like how a snake didn't care for its prey. For a brief second, she was afraid. A tiny voice told her to run away, but that voice was washed away by a wave of carnal desire. The stranger grinned at Catherine. Mine. Yep, deeper his kisses went. Yep, that's all that's happening right now. As if reaching for something deep inside her. It didn't say deep, I added that in. His weight on, body excited her, but it also felt like a prison. I don't know whose voice is it. Run, rabbit. Run, rabbit, run. Catherine viciously, totally did. Her, going south, around his waist. A force overtook her. A hunger. Here comes the farmer's gun. She tried to ignore the growing coldness in Guillaume's eyes. She tried to ignore the way her body moved on its own. Run, rabbit. Run, rabbit, run. Her hands found the... totally. She did it quickly now. Quickly. Sure did. Totally. 100%. Things are happening. Wow. Her mounting terror only served to aggravate her urges. She wanted this. I want this. She was hungry. I am hungry. She heard the man snicker. He wants his farmer's pie. So don't stand idly by. Run, rabbit, run. Yep, totally did. She grasped. Shiver, and fear. A dangerous mix. But it was cruel. There was no warmth. Just cold, hard greed. And yet, she couldn't help but want him. She wanted to please him. Slowly at first. Then faster. Catherine's voice kept in time. Her breath, okay, yep, totally. With blah, 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 blah. Yep, a heating, nauseous feeling of malady was clawing at her. What was missing? What was taken away? She didn't know what was gone until it was. The final scream of protest died in her mind, the last that was left of her lucidity. The urge to escape left. No more reason to stop. Yep, stop. No, I must not stop. Would I even think that? What if he'd hate her? It was an agonizing thought. She had to give him more. More. His eyes observed her with cold amusement. Catherine touched his chest in reverence. His eyes were cold, but his body was like fire. In her mind's eye, he had started to become something else. A winged creature engulfed in flame, both hot and cold and magnificent, both beautiful and terrible, both dark and light. At times she would be on the bed with a man she might remember as one she once loved. Other times she would be floating, suspended on the dark chasm of flesh. There was a creature with her, somebody she both loathed and adored. Sometimes there were two people. Sometimes there was only him. Only him. The woman called Catherine didn't exist. She was merely an extension of his mind. Soon all of her would be gone, little by little, disintegrating to be part of him forever. Catherine screamed. Yep, she was prepared to give him everything. It didn't even seem a worthy sacrifice to lay at his feet. But no, all he asked for was her heart. That small, pathetic thing. It had always been his anyway. She gave it gleefully. He was so generous and considerate, benevolent, fair. She said, yep, as she worshipped him, he was her god. Please want me. Please find me pretty. She craved his love above anything else, above fear and confusion, above the mourning at something precious lost. Love me, please. Love me, she begged. I'll do anything for you. Anything. His lips did not move, save for a smile. The words simply dropped in her head, echoed, and took root. Catherine's eyes lost their glimmer. Anything. Then tell me again. I want to hear it. Do you love me, Catherine? Her name on his lips was the only reminder of her former selves. I do. I love you. I love you so much. With these words, she felt him. Yep. Totally. A wave of fire burnt her lips as totally mouths entwined. His passion hid in his back arch. Sweat beaded on his forehead and traced his temple. What a wondrous sight, I'm sure. Oh. He was ice beginning to thaw, a sun on the verge of eclipse. His coldness replaced by a radiating heat that melted and fastened her to him with like fire with metal. Yep. Really? Do you really love me? Yes! She screamed. Yes! The candle fizzled out. Beneath the depths of her hazy mind, she was relieved she didn't have to look at his face. She tastes just like the richest chocolate, the finest wine. I can't stop. My whole body shivers with the taste of her breath on my neck, her fingers scratching at my back, the sound she makes, yep. Her lust gives me sustenance to move, yep, to devour her faster. Stop. I knew waiting so long would be worth it. I have been her lover for years, and this flavor is divine. My head spins, my appetite swells. I can't stop. I bind her hand, yep, totally, yep, 100%. In delight, I haven't breathed so deeply for a long time. You're taking too much. Her love is exquisite. It's laced with anger, reverence, disappointment, pain, memories. All different relishes and morsels melding into one. Stop it! Her love is a delicacy. You're destroying her. I can't stop myself. I haven't tasted this kind of love for so long. Flirtations and physical attraction can only get me by for so long. I was going to wait! There's a waning in her love. Confusion. Doubt. But that helping of guilt tinged the flavor perfectly. I must feed now. Her love is the most perfect tonight. My body wants her. I couldn't stop now even if I wanted to. Liar. And I almost let you escape. To save her. I almost ran away. I love her. I love her. And tomorrow? Maybe. What will become of her? I will find another. Next time. Something insignificant. I want to relish this taste a bit more. No. No! The mounting pleasure in my bone. Yep, totally. A numbness spreads to my stomach. It's almost painful. It goads me to, yep, totally. Yep, 100%. With every move, yep. I feel her love osmose. I don't think that's a real word. Into my other mouth. Okay, you know, that's creepy. She clings to me, her moans louder, yep, totally, Hunter, she is beautiful. It won't be long now. A final drawing of breath. Do you love me, Catherine? Give me all your love. All of it. Give it to me. I want it all. It is mine. Mine. Catherine, give me more. I want more. 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 All right. Great. Got through it. We made it. We made it, team. What run is this? This is the bad run, right? I'm making all the awful decisions. Rosa stood in front of the door to Catherine's room. Her hand raised to knock, but she didn't move. Doubt was creeping into her mind like a spider crawling on the wall. She remembered the feeling of hunger from the other night they had kissed. It was both familiar and utterly alien, like an instinct, an urge she hadn't felt for a long time. A shiver ran down her spine at the memory. Oh God, what was Rose's voice? It's probably very similar to mine. She's avoiding me, isn't she? She hadn't seen Catherine for a few days since that night. She had been spending a lot of her time alone, locked away in her room. Whenever Rosa saw her, if you guys thought that was creepy, it doesn't even touch what twists and turns are about to happen in this story. Whenever Rosa saw her in the chateau, she would excuse herself and leave. Rosa never got the courage to push the issue. But days had passed and Catherine's behavior began to worry her even more. Oh, these are both awful. But this is the mean run, right? Is that what we're doing? Do I have to go through my video manager to see if this is the good run or the bad run that we're trying for? I think I went for a mixture, or is this like the all good run? Good ending. We're going for the good ending. Right? September. Yes, we're going for the good ending. Okay. All right. We're not going for the bad ending. God, this is the good ending. Which one is a nicer one of the two? She is selfish just like everyone else. She is probably repulsed by you. I feel like one is the lesser of the two evils, right? We're working so hard, Taco. The next run will be the bad ending. I got a mixture of both of them in my first run through. So, and there's like four endings, I think. Six endings, somewhere around there. And I've gotten one of the middle ones. It was one of the better endings. Are we going for the good end? I feel like I aptly named them. Yeah, because September, right? September of this year. Yes. I put an addendum on them that says good ending. All right. Okay, Good ending. All right. Okay. Now that I've confirmed it with myself. She is self. Oh God, what was Mother's? It's very similar to Guillaume's voice. She is selfish, just like everyone else. What did you expect? She's selfish, just like everybody else. She used you as an experiment, and now that her curiosity is sated, she's done with you. You don't matter to her. You probably never did. Which is a good thing, darling. You see her true face. No matter. She's never going to love you like Mother does. Like all the others, she's going to leave you in the end, and then you're all alone. Only Mother will stay with you forever and love you. So, be a good child and listen to what I tell you. Rosa bit her lower lip. This was all her fault, wasn't it? She needed to make it right. If Rosa talked to her properly, she was sure they would come to an understanding. She had to explain to her. What exactly? They had both been drunk and the kisses didn't mean anything. Her stomach churned at this thought. In the end, it didn't matter what Rosa wanted. Catherine obviously regretted what had happened. She didn't want to lose her friend because of too much wine. Rosa gently knocked on Catherine's door. Catherine, may I come in? Please, Catherine, I'm sorry for the mess, but can we talk? Rosa waited for an answer. None came. Rosa turned the handle slowly and entered. Usually, Catherine's room was brightly lit, the windows lit in the fresh breeze, often carrying the sweet smell of flowers in spring. Right now, however, the curtains were drawn closed. Can you guys hear this creepy music? Because I can hear this creepy music. It doesn't look like you guys can hear it. Properties. It's cause it's real creepy. We're experiencing some real creepiness. Let's see. Let me move it. Music. I guess it is very low. You hear ourselves laughing. LOL. Let's see. Let's go to filters. Yep. Let's go to gain. Let's raise you a little bit. Is that any better? I don't see it moving. I still don't see it moving. It's very, very soft. That is very, very loud. Let's move that shit back down. Nope. No. Let's see. It's probably fine. I will. Let's see. Let's just mute this real quick and let's put it over here. Boop, boop. Let's click live. I will. Let's see. Let's just mute this real quick and let's put it over here. I'm super loud. Let's click live. Sure enough, you don't hear anything. All right. Well, that was fun. Let's turn off this gain real quick because it is real loud. Filters. Let's just boop you off. Cool, cool. I probably just have to do that. Well, now I'm very paranoid because it's very loud in my ear. Let's do one more check and then I can barely see it moving. I will. Let's do one more check and then I can barely see it moving. I will. One more. Ba 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 bow. The thing is that it's too quick. It's too quick. Let's see, let's move back a little bit. No, it is real loud in my ear. So it is very fascinating that you guys can't hear it at all. I mean, a little bit. Oh well. Things happen. The few candles burning on the desk weren't enough to banish the darkness completely. Oh, right. Yeah, I don't know how I forgot this scene, but I did. The air hung heavy in the room. Catherine didn't turn around when the door opened. She just stood there, unmoving in front of a wall. The sounds of something scratching along this rough surface filled the air. Rosa felt a shiver run down her spine at the sound, and her muscles tensed instinctively. She approached Catherine slowly and apprehensively. When she came closer, she could hear that Catherine was whispering the same few words over and over again. Catherine, higher. He loves me. He loves me not. And Catherine giggled. He loves me. He loves me not. Catherine, are you alright? Rosa stopped next to Catherine and peered at her outstretched hand. In the dim light, it took a moment for her to make sense of what she saw. It's a very happy picture. Catherine was scratching at the wall. The damage she had done to the wall was nothing compared to what she had done to her fingers. They were dripping with blood from where her skin was cracked and peeled back. Kath? Oh my god, Catherine, stop! Rosa's guts twisted horribly. She grabbed Catherine's shoulder to turn her around away from the wall. She blinked a couple of times before finally reacting to Rosa's presence. Tears welled up in Catherine's bloodshot eyes at the sight of her friend, spilling over her pale cheeks and chapped lips. She held on tightly to Rosa and started sobbing uncontrollably. Kath, what's going on? Why are you hurting yourself? Catherine tried to pull herself together as best as she could, wiping her nose on the sleeve of her bloody dress. It was heart-wrenching to look at the mess that her friend had become. Oh, Rosa, you need to help me. You need to protect me from him. Don't let him touch me. Who? Let him what? What do you need me to protect you? Why do you need me to protect you? Suddenly, Catherine shushed her and a finger to her lips with a scared expression on her face. She leaned an ear toward the door and listened intensely for a moment. Oh, he's here? The scared expression turned into a manic and frightening glee. I think he's coming. Guillaume, honey. Guillaume, I love you. After yelling the last words, Catherine started sobbing again with more tears streaming down her face. I skipped it. Before Rosa could try to console her, however, her sobs faded into hysterical laughter. It barely left time for her to gasp for breath. Oh, Guillaume, I love the way you pull me close to hug me. And how kind you are to everyone you meet. And your eyes. What's going on here? Guillaume stood in the door, frowning. His eyes wandered across the room and caught sight of Catherine. His face froze into shock. Catherine stared wide-eyed for a second, and then she snarled at him like a ferocious animal. You bastard! Get out of my room! Get lost! She stormed over to the desk and grabbed a letter opener from the table. Damn. With a weapon in a firm grip and malice in her eyes, she rushed to Guillaume. Don't you dare show your face to me! Catherine, no! The knife plunged. It's not really a knife. It's a letter opener. It's not even sharp. It's just blunt and pointy. The knife plunged into Guillaume's arm. Blood quickly stained his sleeve red, but Catherine only recoiled to strike back with no hint of stopping. All right there, Brutus. Oh my god! Catherine! They wrestled for a moment until Guillaume was able to grab Catherine's hand. She dropped the letter opener and slumped to the floor, sobbing uncontrollably. Rosa quickly picked up the blade and stepped out of reach. When she turned around again, Guillaume had already pulled Catherine into a tight embrace. Hold on. No, that's fine. That's probably the one. Return. Between her sobs and hiccups, Rosa could hear her apologizing. Oh god, I'm so sorry, Guillaume. What? I'm so sorry. Do you love me? Please, Guillaume, do you love me? She repeated the question over and over again, no matter how many times Guillaume reassured her. It was probably a good idea to find something to calm her down. Rosa didn't feel completely at ease doing so, but she left her friend alone with the marquee for a few minutes. Later, she returned with a glass of water laced with valerian root. Hey, that's a movie. Hold on, let me also turn this off. That probably isn't helping anything. Oh yeah, that wasn't doing anybody any favors. There we go. I don't know why I had a noise gate on. Valerian root. Guillaume had already coaxed Catherine to lie down on her bed while Rosa helped her drink the nightcap. They watched her in silence as she drifted into a fitful sleep. Guillaume and Rosa left the room. They didn't speak for a while, both still dazed and shocked by the turn of events. How is your arm? Guillaume hid the injured arm away from her view. Fine. Just a scratch. The bleeding hadn't stopped yet. Rosa could tell the cut was deeper than Guillaume let on. What is happening? What has gotten into Catherine? Guillaume just shrugged with a cold expression of worry on his face. I wish I knew, Rosa. The state she is in scares me, to be honest. It might be an onset of an episode waiting to happen, like her sister before. Rosa's mouth tightened. How dare you say that? She is not crazy. Rosa searched his face for traces of a lie, but it was like a mask contorted by worry. She couldn't tell whether he was lying or telling the truth. Sorry. She asked me to protect her from you. Did you hurt her? You know I wouldn't. She is unwell. It seems I am the target of her psychotic state. That is all I know. But why? Stop. Stop it, Rosa. It hurts me too seeing her like this. Please, stop questioning me further. I'm going to call for a physician. Please, stay with her in the meantime. See that she doesn't harm herself again. For a moment he met her eyes, but she could say more, however. Before she could say more, however, he turned around and left. See if his pants have caught fire yet, child. There was nothing she could do about him for now. Rosa left to get a bowl of fresh water and a towel to tend to Catherine's fingers. Catherine had an uneasy sleep while Rosa cleaned her wounds as best as she could. She muttered, squealed, and whimpered like a child. It seemed that she was having a nightmare, but Rosa didn't dare wake her before the physician arrived. Instead, she stroked her hair and told her everything would be alright. Everything would be alright. What had happened between Catherine and Guillaume? The relationship was often erratic, but Rosa dismissed the possibility that this was one of their usual fights. Rosa remembered Catherine's face filled with utter spite at the man. She had never seen that much hatred in Catherine. It's probably really loud now. Let's lower that a little bit. Oh shit, I didn't read that last one. After a few minutes, Catherine's eyes fluttered open. She looked around with some confusion, then her gaze settled on Rosa. Tears welled up in her eyes. Rosa? Rosa held out her outstretched hand. Her heart broke when she saw Catherine wince. Oh, Rosa, I'm so scared. Everything is such a mess. It's going to be alright, Kath. Don't worry now. Just try to sleep some more. No, you don't understand. Catherine tried to sit up, but Rosa pushed her down gently. You need rest, Kath. I hate him. This is all his fault. She sniffed but settled down in her pillow once more. When she spoke again, it was in a whisper. Rosa, She chewed on her dry-chapped lips for a moment, as if she couldn't get the words out. I don't think I love him anymore. What? A dry sob escaped her, followed by tears rolling down her cheeks. Had Catherine really just said that? But I don't understand this. When I think of him, Her voice cracked. She shuddered under the blanket like an ill breeze had just sprung up in the room. It's Like bugs are crawling under my skin. I can't bear to look at him anymore. I can't. I can't even say his name. Why? Do you remember when exactly you started feeling this way? That night. Rosa winced. Catherine covered her face with her hands. It was a horrible night. Rosa's chest hurt. Was this her fault? She didn't know what she had done, but didn't she do something to her? I'm sorry. Catherine went on like she hadn't hurt her. I went to his room. We spent the night together. This is very uncomfortable to read. We spent the night together. Rosa waited for Catherine to continue, but the girl stared blankly. She just stopped speaking, as if forgetting she had ever spoke at all. Kath? Did he hurt you that night? No. Maybe? Catherine shook her head. I don't know. She grabbed her head and sobbed. The grip on Rosa's heart tightened. How can this be? Her eyes drowned in tears. Can eyes drown? Yeah, you're just gonna let it happen. I love him, Rosa. Don't I? I remember everything. I love him. I know I do. I'm sure I do. But I hate him too, to the very core. I want to hurt him and punish him for something. I want to snuff out the breath from his throat, but sometimes Catherine's eyes went blank. I just don't care for him at all. Sometimes I feel nothing. Nothing at all. And that scares me more. She laid on the bed, quiet now, letting the tears flow out of her eyes without wiping them. I'm going mad, Rosa. Catherine, I am, aren't I? Like my sister. Like my mother. It runs in our blood. They said I am a child of a mad woman. They said I'm going to turn out exactly like her. Rosa stroked her hair and tried her best to soothe her, saying that everything would be alright. They were empty words, but she didn't know what else to say. She wanted them to be true so badly, for her friend's sake as well as her own. Was Guillaume really the cause of Catherine's confusion and pain? Pangs of guilt pricked her like tiny needles. Or was this her fault? Rubbish, you fool. You fool. This is all his fault. I can feel it. We must get to the bottom of this. Yes, Mother. Rosa looked down at her best friend and nodded slightly to herself. Everything will be all right, Catherine. I promise. She would make it all right somehow. She had to. The physician arrived shortly, but he did little to help Catherine. Catherine never regained her personality. She remained moody and irritable, breaking out into fits of hysterical laughter or heartbreaking sobs at seemingly random intervals. Guillaume and Rosa would take turns to tend to her. Her moods fluctuated, her temper uncontrollable. There were times she begged for attention from Guillaume, almost clinging to him in despair, never letting him out of her sight. Other times, she couldn't stand his very presence. Soon, neither Guillaume nor Rosa could console her anymore. She withdrew entirely from the household. She starved herself, stopped coming to the meals, stopped caring for herself. Her manic episodes degraded to long stretches of blank silence. Emptiness ruled her life. Looking at her eyes in those last days, it was like a fire had been snuffed out behind them. Like the star that had been shining through them had imploded. Chapter 5. Psyche. Oh, we're gonna get this one. Sweet. Oh, yes. Oh, man, this means we're on the path to a good ending. In the once slumbering town, the streets were alive with flowers. Tonal shift. Pretty young girls wrapped in thin white dresses lined up in rows, tittering excitedly amongst themselves. Each maiden was armed with a basket brimming with flowers. When the clock struck 8, it was the given signal. Girl by girl, the rows progressed down the crowded street, their dresses twirling as they danced. Colors scattered as they unloaded their baskets. Dalilahs, tulips, orchids, poppies, sweet peas, they all spiraled across the air and into the hands of the startled citizens. The young men on the street sprang into action. They cheered and hooted and clapped and laughed, and the girls curtsied to them in return. Some intrepid boys even dared blow a kiss, hoping for a reward. And when the girls blew kisses back, they read into the lips of their ears and hooted in joy. Rose! Hey, Rose! At first, she didn't know who he was talking to, but then she saw the rose he flourished in front of her like a gentleman's magic trick. Well, I have to call you something, right? How about Rose? This particular boy had been at her tail for several days now. The flower festival was a good excuse for romance. It was around this time that the young men of the town went around wooing their prospective lovers. Most would have gone for a taller, more outspoken type of girl, but for some reason, this boy was smitten with her. Go on, take it. She shook her head. She knew she didn't deserve it. Again with the stone cold act? Come on, you're breaking my heart. He laughed gaily, enjoying the thrill of courtship. Why do you love me so much? Is that what's bothering you? I'll tell you one thing, Rose, and you'd better remember this for the rest of your life. When somebody loves somebody else, there's no need for a reason. I just love you, Rose. Won't you at least smile at me? Bitch, you love me? He flashed his best youthful grin. Sure, I love you. To the moon and back. She knew she shouldn't take the rose. She knew it was wrong, and yet she also knew at this instant that her face was burning hot. Her fingers closed on the rose. Even as she felt the thorns on her skin, she still held on to it. The expression on the boy's face was one of absolute bliss. He hooted and did a little dance. I do love you, Rose, I really do. He grinned at her. To her surprise, she found herself smiling back. A warm, pleasant feeling gushed inside of her. It was like tucking into a hot, home-cooked meal. Mother, I'm home. Oh man, shit's about to get dark. And that's saying something in here. In this story. Nowadays, she and Mother lived in a quiet cottage far away from the main streets. The joy and exuberance of the flower festival had long since faded now, leaving her with the stillness of the lonely house. Mother, are you home? There was no answer, not even a sound. Usually her mother would have heard the door open by now. She would run up, plaster her with hugs and kisses. Now, however, the unnerving silence meant one of two things. One, Mother was not here, which wasn't possible because she was always here. Or two, Mother was angry. Rosa felt a chill run down her spine as she realized. Was it possible that Mother had her suspicions and had followed her? Mother, I'm coming inside now? The sound of the door closing was like a clash of thunder. Rosa bowed her head, descending deeper into the house. Mother was in the kitchen. She was bent down with her back to the doorway, washing clothes in a wooden basin. She looked just like the normal Mother, but Rosa knew better. Because just above Mother hung the cross. It was a heavy wooden crucifix and it had been there as long as Rosa could remember. It was so solid that if it were to drop, it would crush someone's toe. The girl knew this well, having felt the cross so many times. She knew exactly how heavy it was. The sharp corners of the cross were especially capable of drawing blood. Mother dipped her hands into the water. She crushed the cloth in a vice grip. Where did you go? Her sudden question sliced through the air, and Rosa almost jumped out of her skin. Just the marketplace, Mother. She tried to press the plump rose behind her and stomp on it and make it disappear into the ground, but it was too late. Mother stood up. Mother? It's not what you think, I swear. I'm not planning to see him again. I wanted to make him happy, that's all. If Rosa looked at Mother any longer, she thought her courage would dry up, so she quickly glanced at her feet. I'll throw away the rose. I'll make sure you never see it again, so... The blow came so fast she never expected it. Suddenly she was on her knees, her skull throbbing in pain. She looked up just in time to see her mother raised across another time. Fear overtook her. Although she knew it was no use running, she scrambled away all the same. Mother, I'm sorry, I won't do it. How much do you think raising a child cost, you little rat? Mother, please. Undeterred, the cross slammed hard onto Rosa's collarbone. She shrieked, rolled over, and tried to get back to her feet. I clothe you, I house you, and I even feed you. I protect you from everything that might harm you. And yet, I ask for nothing in return. Absolutely nothing. Didn't I tell you not to go to that festival? Yet, you just can't help shaking your hips at those men, can you? All of them are the same. Didn't I say it? Up and down came the cross. By now, Rosa had resorted to curling up into a ball, covering her eyes. She cried out her pleas, her vows of obedience and love. Do you have any idea how much I've sacrificed? What have I wasted my life for? What I have wasted my life for, I think is what it should say. To be stuck with a stupid child who doesn't even know how to listen. I have told you time and again, do not disobey me. Mother, I should have smothered you years ago. You are a curse. I do this all for you, to protect you. And you repay me how? With lies and betrayal? I should have thrown you out the window and watched the crows feed on your remains. It's not too late now, don't you think? Maybe I should teach you a harder lesson. Maybe I should leave here right now and never come back. Worse than any physical pain, the girl felt a despair so big it made her heart burst. Rosa clung to her mother's legs. Please, Mother, please don't leave me. I'll atone for this somehow, Mother. Just please stay with me. You're beyond atonement, you degenerate whore. With one final strike, Mother sent her spinning to the ground. The cross had hit her face. Rosa tried to open her eyes and felt something warm trickle down her face. She lay on the floor crying. Her tears mixed with blood, and she wondered if Mother really was going to walk out of the house. She could still hear Mother's footsteps, feet thudding near her head. At first, they were hard and fast, then slow and hesitant. At some point in time, Rosa realized that the blows had stopped. She dared not raise her head from the floor, so she waited. Something touched her head, and it wasn't a cross, but a soft, warm hand. A sound of a sob. Darling? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. What have I done? Rosa tensed, but she allowed Mother to sit her up. The next thing she knew, Mother had wrapped her arms around her. She was still crying. You poor thing. I'm so sorry. Mother is so stupid. Her tears were genuine and mournful. The sorrow in her eyes hurt a million times more than any blow. I shouldn't have done that, The woman stared at her hands. She dropped the cross as if it were spoiled meat. The girl let her mother hug her. It was her fault anyway. She had disobeyed Mother. She deserved the punishment. She drowned herself in her arms and the familiar surge of love. This was home. Home. No matter how broken, life before Mother was a blur. She was nothing without her. Mother looked into her eyes and touched her face, wiping away her tears. She locked her lips around hers and delivered a long, deep kiss. I love you so much, my darling. Please forgive me. I love you too, Mother. Don't cry. Oh, you're bleeding. Just wait here. Mother sat on her chair and returned with a roll of bandages. She began nursing Rose's head with delicate care. I'm sorry, Mother. No, I'm the one who's sorry. Forgive me for what I said. You know I would never leave you, right? Even if you had committed the foulest sin, I will never desert you. I will always be by your side. Thank you, Mother. I get worried, darling. You understand? Yes. I'm very afraid. Always afraid. The woman's voice dropped into a whisper. A sudden split second of lucidity. You scared me. She shook her head, forgetting the thought. Just obey me from now on. Promise? Mother knows what's best for you. Yes, Mother. Later on at dinner time, Rose's favorite dish was on the menu. The vegetable and meat stew with brown gravy that only her mother would make. Rosa tucked in eagerly, all the while feeling the cool bandage pressing lightly against her forehead. The events of the past hour had already seemed to fade away into a distant memory. Mother sat across the table, also eating. She seemed to be deep in thought. Mother? I won't see that boy anymore. If he calls out to me, I'll run until he can't catch me. I know you will do the right thing, my darling. You didn't ask for all this, did you, you poor thing? If only your father was a better man. Here, Rosa pricked up her ears. It was rare to hear her mother. It was rare to hear mother talk about father, and even rarer to see her mention him so calmly. Although throughout her life, Rosa had wondered about the man whom mother had fallen in love with. Now, it looked like she had the opportunity to glean a few more rare bits of information. Father? Was he good to you? Oh shit. Mother puckered her lips and appeared to ignore this. Rosa decided to risk it and asked another question tentatively. Did you love him a lot? Mother's eyes were somewhere far away. I don't know. No emotion, neither pain nor fondness registered on her face. But he certainly loved me back. Nope, that's not what it says. But he certainly loved me back then. Maybe. Now I'm smarter. I know better than to trust men like him. You, too, will understand when you grow up that people who love you will hurt you the most, and you will only have yourself to blame. After all, you gave them permission to rearrange the awnings of your soul. Do not give anyone that permission. Rosa nodded, accepting her mother's teachings. Promise me, darling, when the time comes and you meet a demon like your father, you will do the right thing. Deliver the punishment they deserve. Punish him. Oh, God. Okay, here we go. Rosa's hands were over her head. She pressed herself into a corner, panting. She had never heard mother this loud before. Punishment! This one was so loud it rattled around her skull and made her vision blur. Mother, what more do you want? The spell is already... She bent her head down, black spots creeping into the edge of her vision. She was so tired. You cannot hide anything away from me. What is this doubt you are nursing? You are hesitating. You are crafting another spell. You stupid harlot. That filthy Marquis is exactly the kind of monster I've been warning you about. You dare plan behind my back? I don't want to kill him anymore, Mother. She couldn't help but answer back this time. How could she not? After years filled with love and acceptance, it made her realize all the more how precious life was. The thought of snuffing out somebody else's life sent a detestable shiver through her bones. She had planned on running away from this place, abandoning whatever duty that now fell into her hands. Why was it her duty anyway? She just wanted to take the good memories of this place and taint them no longer. Whatever truth she sought out wasn't enough payment for peace. I don't want to. Her voice shook. I don't want to kill him, Mother. I don't want to kill anyone, please.
Is this cowardice or stupidity?
Which one is the nicer one? You fancy him, don't you? You hate him, don't you? I guess hate him will incite more awfulness. Let's do you fancy him, don't you? Or maybe... The voice pewtered out into an abrupt, chilly silence. Rosa waited, sweat dripping down her brow.
I knew it. You fancy him, don't you? You filthy whore.
It's not like that, Mother.
Past and present, rinse and repeat. Always, always a selfish little girl.
Rosa was horrified. No, I'm not selfish. A selfish little girl that loves a murderer more than her own mother. I'm losing her voice. With the final proclamation, Rosa was struck to the floor. The feeling of fainting was stronger now than ever. Alone in the dark, she lay there, panting like a sick dog, waiting for what would come next. Guillaume killed me. He made me love him, and then he betrayed me. He deserves death. Only you can kill him. I can't kill him. It's what I want. That's not true. It is. No. I want to see justice served. You'll do that for me, won't you, Rosa? My darling daughter. I can always count on you to do the right thing.
So kill him. Kill Guillaume. Kill him.
Promise me. Make him suffer.
Stab him with a knife.
Stick a dagger down his throat.
Gouge his eyes out. Execute his sentence.
Rosa clutched her heart. Rosa clutched her head so hard she thought her skull would burst. For a long moment she lay as though she were dead. 5 minutes, 10 minutes passed. Then in the middle of the empty room, Rosa's voice rang out clear as a bell. I understand. Rosa knocked on Guillaume's door, carrying a tray of food. She had been poisoning his meals in small doses for weeks now, taking note of any ill effects it yielded. There had been none. Guillaume was still fit and healthy as ever, no symptoms at all, even after she increased the dosage. Either he hadn't eaten anything for a month, or he was immune to poison. Both possibilities were suspect. Rosa knocked again. There was no response from the other side of the door. It may have worked. It was not a total loss, however. She remembered Catherine mentioning how particular Guillaume was about his sleep. Just as she had been about to give up, something happened. The door opened? I don't know. She had ventured on this hunch. It was true. Guillaume was curiously rather sensitive to sedatives. Rosa had offered rose tea to Guillaume that afternoon under the guise that she had made a new recipe. It had been laced with opium and valerian, sweetened with honey to mask the taste. Whether or not it was the casting of philia, he had drunk it without second thought. He had retired early that evening. Rosa noted grogginess visible in his gait. She snuck the master key this evening. Tonight is her night. Rosa pushed the door to his room open. Shit gets even creepier now. I can't remember if I've done this. I feel like I have, but I can't remember if I've done this all before. Hopefully I clicked on the right one, the right save to do this. But yeah, that's where we're gonna leave it for now. So we're gonna save this. It's gonna do a cheeky little save over. Let's do that one. Yep. December 10th. All right. We're gonna stop it there because it just gets creepier. If I don't stop here, I'm not going to be able... I don't have a nice narrative stop later. So, I am going to... Exit. Yep, I'm sure I want to quit. And it has stopped working. You know, that's cute. That's fine, because you're just saying it. Are you sure you want to quit? Yeah, it's a good stop right there. It's a good place to stop. Yep. Yeah, because I feel like the next one is just going to be... It's going to be a hard stop. Like, if I stop in the middle of the next section, I'm going to stop, like, right as, like, we hit the climax. And if I come back, it's just going to be, like, just a hard drop. All right, so... Let's see, what time is it? It is so late, Taco. I'm so tired. What are you guys doing? Shell shock life? I don't even know what that is. Let's see. Never too late. It's not too late, never too late. But I will stop the stream right now. We could keep talking in chat. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to be nice to each other. Don't forget to be compassionate. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.